Before starting your installation, make sure to check local building codes and you've obtained any permits or permissions necessary to install your project. Legally, you must have your power and cable lines marked before you begin digging. Contact your local utility marking service to have this done. First, locate your property pins and mark your corners and ends. If you can't locate your pins, you may need to have an updated survey done of your property. Your second step is to run a string line around the perimeter of the area where your fence is going to be installed. This will help keep your posts in line and assist in digging your holes in the proper location. We suggest keeping the fence just inside your property lines to avoid any issues with neighbors. Next, you can begin measuring the distance of where you're going to locate your posts. For this project, the posts are spaced every 8 feet on center for installation of full sections. If your run is not divisible by 8 feet, you may need to have shorter sections at the ends or corners of the run. It's best to begin by setting your first end post at the house and work your way around the perimeter. Your vinyl fence will arrive with the posts that are not installed over wood posts pre-routed. Each section is individually shrink-wrapped along with all of the pickets and rails needed for assembly. Vinyl fence is installed one section and one post at a time. You begin by installing the bottom rail first. Then insert the U-channel on the first picket and drop it into the slot on the bottom rail. The pickets are tongue and grooved and will lock into place one at a time. You then install your top rail by sliding it over the pickets. Then lock the top rail into place to complete the section. If you have a small project, you can dig your holes with hand post diggers. If your project is larger, it may be best to rent a gas-powered auger. Your post holes will be dug 36 inches deep. You can dig the holes along the run, drop in the posts, and then come back to assemble and attach the sections. Fill in the holes halfway with dirt so you can keep them upright. Next, you'll begin filling the post holes 3/4 of the way up with a dry mixture of cement, sand, and gravel known as ready mix or Sakrete. As you fill the hole, use a tamping bar to tighten the mixture around the post while leveling the post against your string line. The dry pack will absorb the natural moisture in the ground within a few weeks and will harden on its own. As you move through your project, you can expect to find sections shorter than 8 feet, so you'll need a hand or power saw to trim rails, pickets, and slats as needed. Once you have your fence line installed, you can adjust the height of the sections to follow the contour of the ground for a good, clean installation. You should keep the sections about 2 inches off the ground to allow for weed or grass trimming. We suggest that you run a string line from the start post to the finish post along the top of your fence line. Adjust the start post and the finish post to the correct height by either pulling it up or tamping it down. Go down the entire line of fence and adjust each post accordingly to give your fence a nice, smooth run. Lastly, you want to install your gates following the written instructions on the site for assembly. Gates can be installed on either post, but in your planning, keep in mind that you want your gates to be installed on level ground if at all possible, and make sure that they do not open going uphill. Fill the holes the rest of the way with dirt, tap on your post caps, and clean up around your project. Your new vinyl fence is maintenance-free and will give you decades of security and beauty. For more detailed installation instructions, download and print the PDF on the site.